Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is presented by Sparks Hockey. Go to sparkshockey.com. Sunset Lake CBD. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com/morning brew. Use the code BRU20 for 20% off. Copeland Automotive Group. You can count on Copeland. Check out countoncopeland.com. And Fazenda Coffee. Go to fazendacoffee.com/morning brew.
This is Saturday Morning Brew with Billy Jaffe and Andrew Razor Raycroft. Saturday Morning Brew on WEEI is brought to you by Apex Entertainment in Marlboro with 100,000 square feet of pure fun. Now, here's Jaffe and Razor on WEEI.
Oh, baby, it is a hockey Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
The Raycroft hockey family is all over the place. Charge up, gas up.
That's it.
Get going. Razor on the road. That's what today is all about. My game is actually happening in about 2 minutes or so.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I will, yes. Last one of the year for this season, I guess.
Because
Because
5 a.m.?
8 a.m.
Oh, my God. Those kids will be
Miserable.
excited about that.
Miserable.
Oh, my God.
They lost in a shootout, though, last night.
Oh,
so
that's
they got
fun.
forced. Nah, not when you lose.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
Shootouts suck as it is. But kids are like, this is all they know, shootouts.
Yeah, you're right.
I grew up with ties. And I was okay.
Yeah, we like ties.
I was okay with ties.
Yeah, you're right.
Now you get shootouts and, you feel miserable. Welcome to Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Rays. You're going to feel good with this show, folks, because we're back to Bruins hockey. And the Bruins come back off of the long Olympic break. They played their last game before the break was Feb 4, the game in Florida. That was a raucous affair. Even though they lost in a shootout, it was a nice comeback. A gutsy effort is what they would call it, the good broadcasters. A gutsy one, right? And then they come back and they win. The other night, Thursday night, 21 full days off. So on the 22nd day, they played. They played the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team nipping at their heels in the Eastern Conference, and they win 4-2 in a game that was anything but pretty, in my eyes. The result was nice. It wasn't awful. You talked to some players. The pace was there. It just wasn't pretty. And that's to be expected, Razor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not just the Boston Bruins and Columbus Blue Jackets, although I will say this. The Jackets looked pretty darn good, I thought, in that first period.
Yep.
You could tell that their skill and their smaller guys were ready to go. This was an energetic effort. We're going to get into why they didn't score much in just a moment here with one goaltender for the Bruins. But overall, when it's all said and done, a solid effort from the Bruins to find a way to win, right? Cliche 101, they found a way to win.
And they've done that at least since Christmas time. That's what they've been doing. They've been finding ways to win.
So does that concern you at all?
A
little bit for me. I'll be honest. It does. It concerns me.
It doesn't, because that's been necessity. That's what other teams have been doing around them, and
Okay.
I think.
Well, then they should stop it. Now they should.
Yeah, listen, they're not, and I think the other thing with that, we'll get back to the game, but the other thing with that is they're a team that isn't going to, they're not going to just be a robot like Tampa, like Carolina, not like the top 7 teams in the National League, the Boston Bruins. They're still not at that level yet, but what they've done and what they've proven coaching player-wise is they believe, they enjoy making it hard on everybody, and they enjoy making it hard on themselves at different times in that respect as well. But they have the resiliency to push through it. So, again, we'll dig in more, but to the game, I agree 100% with Columbus. They have to. I'm sure they don't feel frustrated yet. I'm sure they still feel very good about their game, and they're going to find a way to get in. But they're going to look back at this season and say, man, did we blow it at the start of the year if they don't get into the playoffs, because they're a pretty good hockey team.
They are.
Severson and Werenski. Like, Werenski is amazing, right? I was impressed with Severson. He's a perfect compliment.
I find him inconsistent, though, and I think that's why. But I like.
See, I haven't seen him enough. That was like the first time I kind of thought about him and noticed him the other night.
Because this is a good team for him. He's not big.
Yeah,
he can skate around. He's got a nice part. Again, Mike, there's a good vibe for Damon Severson on that team.
No question.
He was out. Now he's one of the players, partner, who has flourished under Rick Bowness more so than when Dean Evison was coaching there.
Yeah, and from all accounts, everybody's done that, right? Like
100 million %.
Holy, there's not a good. Anyways, we don't need to do that on this show either, I guess. But Columbus is good. And then you talk about the Bruins and how they're getting it done. It was obviously all Korpisalo in the first period and most of the game. He was so fantastic. He was dialed in, made some huge saves, continued, now got his unbeaten record to 7, which that's the Bruins in the playoffs. That's it right there. 5-0-7 or 5-0-2. Those are 12 points for the Boston Bruins. If he only gets 6 of those points, they're with the Columbus Blue Jackets right now. You need that goaltending, and Jonas has given it to them. And then the power play again, 3rd in the league, and it just keeps clipping. Power play, goaltending, being hard to play against.
No penalties. Well, they took 1.
And now, if we add that layer in, now you feel real good about it, because now it's goaltending, power play, no penalties. Now the special teams is going to win, and they're really hard. They are hard to play against 5-on-5.
They are at 5-on-5. Yes, they are.
They give some stuff up and they give chances, but it's hard for. They don't give any free chances up 5-on-5.
Right. In the first period, they did, given that they were game rusty.
Correct.
Now people say, "Well, Columbus wasn't." It was different, and to their credit, first of all, Columbus has been crappy for many years. Now they're getting better. Evison was okay early on with them. Point is, they have so many high draft picks and so much skill on that team.
Correct.
Like Fantilli looked like a top 3 pick. He dominated last game at times.
He did. And he had and that's why that first period's perfect for them, because they do that. They do the little shoot. It's just like the shootouts. That skill rolls out of bed.
I thought some of the Bruins' bigger guys, a Zadorov, a Janot, Cassidy was okay in the first cast, but I thought some of their bigger guys, not just putting it on them by any stretch, but I thought they struggled. Bigger guys take longer to get revved up, get those engines going, right?
Yeah, Pavel Zacha doesn't do that play that way. He had his concussion.
Exactly.
So those guys, they didn't have it in the first.
Yeah, and therefore Columbus took advantage of it.
Yep.
20 shots. They were, if you go by the natural stat trick analytics page, I think it was only 8-8 as far as high danger went. Mm-hmm. I thought, look, we can split hairs, as always. I like to say, I don't have many left to split. What's a high danger versus what a good scoring chance is? I got to tell you something. That first period, there weren't just 8 high danger chances for Columbus.
No, and the Bruins probably didn't have it.
They didn't have it. I think they had 6.
Yeah,
I think they did. They had a few good response shifts in that period.
Mm-hmm.
And they got they got a goal based on the second line, the Arvidsson goal, doing what they've done all year, right? Working, cycling, pushing pucks to the net. But it was all about Jonas Korpisalo. All right, let me just set a couple things up here, and then we'll dive into that more. All right, the number to join is 617-779-7937 here on Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. We got you until the 9 o'clock hour. We got a lot of stuff to get to. We didn't do a show after the game, so we may get deep into this game a little bit more, but then there's a ton of stuff. Korpisalo talk, Geeky, Pasternak, continued talk, playoff positioning talk, and then trade deadline. So we got a lot to get to.
We do.
Okay?
Yep.
A ton to get to right there. We also have the Apex most entertaining moment or play of the week. We'll get to that in our second segment. So we'll take some calls. Again, 617-779-7937 if anything happens. And if you hear me, cheer out once in a while, it's because I'm probably also watching the game, my kid's game that's going on. I'm doing the hockey dad thing here on Saturday Morning Brew. All right, let's get to, and we talked in our pre-brew, we talked at morning skate show that we did on Ness. And by the way, the Bruins are playing today.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another thing. They're playing today at 3:30, right? 3:30?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, thank you.
Well,
we are not doing the game. No. We being Nesson. That doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. It's just not on Nesson. If you flip over to Nesson, you won't get it. They're in Philly to take on the Flyers, a game that they should find a way to win. They need to find a way to win as the Flyers have started to slide. Particularly, they were really sliding before the break. I expect that we'll see Dan Vladar play for them today instead of Sammy Urson, who has really suffered. Mm-hmm. But this is the kind of game, Razor, if they're going to make the playoffs, they got to win. They got to win. This is the kind of game you step up for. Mm-hmm. We expect Jeremy Swayman to play in this one. What do you think? Afternoon game?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't go to the rink yesterday.
And neither did I.
And I didn't. So I didn't dive in and really watch what was going on there yesterday.
So I guess the question is it hard to take Jonas Korpisalo out after that effort on Thursday night? Let's start with that.
No, it's not hard to do that because he's going to play. He's going to play a lot this month. So you're just, and if you're Jonas, you don't need to play back-to-back games. You just know you're going to play a lot and you're feeling good about yourself. You haven't lost in 7 games, so you don't need to play again. It really comes down to where Jeremy is and how much he got done yesterday, and if he and the team and goalie Bob feel like the best way to go into this game is without a pregame skate and just go and play. So it's going to come down strictly to Swayman and what the idea was. I think if you had any reservations or it wasn't 100%, you're more than excited to go back to Jonas after the game on Thursday for the afternoon game. So again, I have no feel, I have no idea, and it's really comes down to what Jeremy felt like yesterday and how excited he is to get back in the net.
I know that it's not that we don't. How do we say it? Of course, we love the fans, but there's a lot of fans, or I don't have a lot. There was a gaggle of fans, if you go by social media, that were perturbed that Swayman were flabbergasted that he didn't play that game on Thursday. We both agreed that it was the right thing.
Yeah, not even close.
Not to do.
Yeah,
not to play him. Right. I don't know if those people that couldn't believe that Jeremy Swayman, who only played 1 game in the Olympics and blah, 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 didn't play in the first game. It would have been stupid for him to play that first game, in my opinion.
Oh, the only Olympian goalie that played in the first 2 days of the season was Darcy Kemper, and he gave up 4 goals on 10 shots.
And by the way, it wasn't the first game for the LA Kings either. They played back-to-back, so they saved him for the Edmonton game the next night, and it was the old lit up like a Christmas tree.
They couldn't get him out of there fast enough. Yeah.
So while I sometimes think goaltenders are a little wackadoo, I couldn't agree with you more that this was we said about it again during the morning skate show.
Yeah.
You don't play Swayman, it's different for a goalie.
Yeah.
It's easier for a skater to go out and play with adrenaline and to have one skate to go out and do. With that said, optically, my friend, if he doesn't play today, does that not look? Now, do you understand? You're like, wait a second. He has had he had another morning skate. He had another practice. Shouldn't he be ready, your number 1 goalie?
So, no, because the Boston Bruins have 2 goaltenders. Korpisalo just played great. They're 6-1-3. Everything's going really great. It wouldn't. Again, he can play. He could play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. He can play his 3 games next week if they really want to get him back in. So I don't see any or think any way in any of anything optically at all. I think it's literally like who's the best guy to play today to get the win. I think that's really where the Bruins are coming from. There hasn't been a plan for the goaltending position. I think Sturmy likes it to be every day we make a new decision, and again, no, I didn't even think that there was a problem optically for him not to play, and I wouldn't think otherwise today as well if he wasn't.
I didn't think there was any issue with this. Yeah, I'm talking on Thursday. I mean, you can't go by what some people are saying that he's your $8 million. I mean,
of course he's going to be on the bench today. Like he's going to be part of the game.
Right.
The other day he was sat out. And it worked out perfectly. We'll talk about that at some point. And then today he's there in the lineup. And if he plays, great. If he doesn't play, great too. I haven't thought about it.
We only got about 45 seconds here, but can you remember the best save? Was it the right to left pad save he made? Was it on Fantilli in the first, or was it the Werenski save in the third period that Korpisalo made? He made some absolutely spectacular movement slide saves, I thought, in that game.
Yeah, he did. There was I think it was the right pad save in the first that really through the slot, through traffic. Like I had a perfect angle from where I stand. I don't remember who ripped it, but there was a bunch of them. The 2-on-0s, the 2-on-1 save was awesome.
I thought his rebound control was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his second chances were, I don't have the number in front of me, but I thought they were minimal.
Yeah,
given
the
the
one
amount
where
of
the rebound went to the right. And
Yeah.
he made that huge save in the first period. He made a great save first, and then the rebound. I think it was Werenski off to the side of the net. He made a secondary save. It was world class.
All right, we're going to get to break here. 617-779-7937. Perhaps a little more Korpisalo talk. We'll also touch on Pasternak and Geeky getting going the second line. Tons to get to on this Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor here on EEI. But now it's our guy David Azer with What's Trending.
Saturday Morning Brew on WEEI is brought to you by Apex Entertainment in Marlboro with 100,000 square feet of pure fun. Now, more of Jaffe and Razor on WEEI.
Let's, you got an Apex most entertaining moment of the last game? What would it be?
I do.
Okay, tell me.
Michael DiPietro.
Well, I was, okay, that's a perfect lead.
Yeah. I thought so. I thought it hit the lead that we need to just talk quickly about. Perfect time to do that, but also that was entertaining. That was fun to watch that.
All right, so the Apex most entertaining play or moment of the week brought to you as always by Apex Entertainment. Visit 100,000 square feet of pure fun up in Marlboro. Apex is up there. Great spot. So, if you didn't get to see the game, shame on you if you didn't. 6 minutes in or so into the second period, collision. Jonas Korpisalo gets hit. Replay shows it's pretty good contact from Miles Wood. Makes head contact. Penalty on Wood for goalie interference. Gets called by the official. Go to break, and then the spotter. Every game in the league has one. Calls down to have Korpisalo taken off. I don't think because he showed any signs indicating a potential concussion, but I think they looked at it and said that's significant enough contact. Okay? That's my take on it. I didn't talk to Jonas afterward. Regardless, he then gets taken out, and Michael DiPietro, the top goalie in the American Hockey League, Razor, comes in, and you take it from there.
He comes in, and we get some warm-up shots for the first time in the league.
Absolutely loved it.
In what, since I played. At least since I played.
So, but explain why that's different. So they used to allow warm-up shots. You take it now.
They used to let everybody do it.
Right.
And then, of course, coaches took advantage of it. Teams took advantage of it. They would pull their goalie and want a longer timeout to take warm-up shots.
Mike Keenan took advantage of it.
Of course, yeah. And so the league got rid of that even after the first lockout in 05-06. That was the last time they did it. When goalies got injured, you couldn't do it because, again, teams were still taking advantage of it that way, saying it was an injury. So yes, we haven't seen it. But now with the spotter and with the league and with the doctors getting involved, we've gone back to, okay, that is a disadvantage, and we'll give that team. The other thing it does, and I was talking to a buddy about this, was it does give you a couple extra minutes to get your goaltender into the concussion protocol and out. So you're not going to have as long of a time. You can stretch those warm-up shots a little bit. I think it's 10 minutes in the dark room. So if you do warm-up shots for 3 minutes, you might get a little bit more time back, get your goalie back out there. But that's why they do it, and that's why it's back, and that's why we haven't seen it, because I don't remember the last time a player actually getting taken off, a goaltender taken off for a spotter, since the Shesterkin shootout thing.
That's exact. Yeah.
And he got around it somehow too back in that. Like, he came back in like a minute and a half. He blew there was something going on there too, but we never.
Everything's faster in New York.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Tests are fast. So DiPietro takes it. Michael, I guess you had to be named Mikey or Michael to be involved in that play. Mikey Asimont is his shooter. Was that his preferred shooter? Do you say, it's like a warm-up, a batting practice pitcher? That's why I want shooting on me.
There are guys that are better at it. Certainly there's guys that are better at it. I don't think David's going over the boards to do warm-up shots.
I don't either.
So if you wanted him, I don't think he's doing it.
I think any third, fourth liner is more than happy.
They're like, get some spotlight. Everybody's watching me finally. Yeah.
Now, I do believe that Asimont was told by DiPietro. He was like, hit me like right here.
Yeah, just put it
right in the middle. Right, put it in the middle. And I think the first two or three, the problem when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh boy, they're literally going right off his chest right back in. There were some rebounds being left. Anyhow, DiPietro ends up facing two shots in addition to about the 15 that DiPietro faced for Michael Eyssimont to warm up. By the way, I also think Eyssimont was taking crap from the Columbus bench on the way back to his bench.
Oh, for sure. Nice shots.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go,
Great
shooter.
shift.
I saw him look over to the Columbus
that's
bench
funny. Yeah,
skating by.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, you get chirped big time.
Oh,
for that.
they were giving him crap.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it. Most shots you've hit in the net in a long time.
Exactly.
Although, hey, going into the break, Mikey was
how's
hot.
the puck feel?
Yeah, really. And you had a good exchange with Judd and Brick Nesson during about taking it, and then Brick said, if you really wanted to mess with the crowd, just let them all in.
I know. That was a good one. I never, that would have been funny if Michael had gone out and done that. I hated those shots. I hated them. I declined them at by the end. Like, I just don't even bother. Like, those shots aren't going to do anything. It's not helping you make a save on Charlie Coyle at NHL level, like 4 little wristers into the
right.
chest.
It's just putting the spotlight on you.
I just can we go? I don't want anyone
just
looking
drop
at
the
me
puck.
right now.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Actually, all kidding aside, as a backup, you're not used to doing that now.
No, that's
so
right.
it's a different routine.
It is, and I'm sure he was caught off guard a little bit, like, because again, he might have done it. Like, he probably did it when he was a kid, when, you
Right.
go in halfway. You used to do that in minor hockey, that you were allowed to take some warm-up shots. I remember that as a kid. So maybe back then, but he hasn't done it in a pro hockey game.
And you really can't make it too hard, because what if you hurt the goalie?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be even better.
That wouldn't
or
be
hit
good,
him
but
in the head.
hit him in the head, exactly. That's it. Let's talk about that second line. Continue to bring it. Victor Arvidsson with 2 goals in the game, but it wasn't just him. I actually thought Casey Middlestat was very good again as well. The numbers played it out. The overall chances, 4 chances against. The goals for, obviously, really played it out. The first goal in the first period was a shot pass. It was more of a put the puck into an area from Arvidsson from deep, like near the blue line on the right wing side. He threw the puck towards the net because he heard Casey, yelling for it, streaming, coming in from the left flank. Casey brought 2 defenders with him from Columbus, and it went off. I think it was Lundestrom, the player, the forward that came back off of his stick, past the goaltender Merzlikins, and the Bruins tied the game up there. And then later, Arvidsson at the end of the game gets an empty netter. But just the way that they continue to control pace and control pucks in the O zone, very good. They continue to be the Bruins' most consistent line at 5-on-5.
They really do, and they're again not playing a lot of power play time and not a lot of special teams. Certainly Middlestat and Arvidsson. They do such a good job of taking advantage of their ice time and creating momentum and carrying through. And they've got this simple down. And they continue to add layers to their game, and they're just really, again, it goes to the 5-on-5 hard to play against. Between that line and the fourth line, who get a lot of 5-on-5 time, those 2 lines are just so hard to play against, and they complement each other so well as well.
I think if I remember correctly, they were all at 14.5 plus, like between 14 and 16. They all got good ice time because there were only one penalty. There was only one shorthanded situation for the Bruins. By the way, that's the 4th time this year the Bruins, Razor, 4th time that they have only had one opportunity to kill a penalty.
Are they 4-0?
And they're 4-0.
Yeah,
there's your analytics, folks.
Yeah, that's all you need. Like, you don't need to dig deeper than that. You don't need historical values or any of that stuff. Just okay. How many times? I'd go into the next dive. How many times have they given up only 2 power plays, and what the record is on that? If we wanted to get that's the next one we do, and I bet the further we go, the we would expect exactly what you would expect.
Oh yeah, the crappier it gets, the more times they're sitting in the box.
Yep.
It's just no doubt about it. But that line continues to shine, and Victor Arvidsson got flowers presented about him from Marco Stern because how well he's playing. But Marco was very forthright. He's like, I've been struggling with that lower body injury. It took him a while, not once, but twice, to come back from.
Yep.
This is the kind of guy that the break will do good. And now there's going to be talk, and understandably so. What do you do with him? What do you do with Victor Arvidsson? If we want to get into the trade deadline stuff now, I guess we should.
It's a good time. Yeah.
Why not?
We're doing a good job walking into the next.
We're trying
so
to.
far this morning.
We're trying to. I've had a couple coffees, so I'm a little bit. I had to get up even earlier today.
Okay.
So Victor Arvidsson, Andrew Peak, who did not play last game. Curious to see. We don't know who the starting goalie is today. Do we know if Andrew Peak's going to be in the lineup today? Henry Jokiharju played the other night. Peak didn't. Was it a decision due to Peak's contractual status? and potential, holding, or was it just lineup related as it was presented to the media about why he wasn't playing, meaning everybody's going to get in? You've got 8 healthy defensemen right now. Let's start with Victor Arvidsson. It would not be easy right now, as tempting as I'm sure it is, to trade him, except if the opportunity is huge to get back something. When I mean huge for Victor Arvidsson that you gave up, what was it, a 4th-round pick for? Mm-hmm. To get him from Edmonton. So the trade-off, though, could not playoffs. No playoffs if you move him. But if you get something good back for the future, could set you up even better. This is the quandary in a good way now that Don Sweeney and the staff is in.
You have to have a backup if you trade him, right? If your
goal is to make the playoffs.
Well, it better be.
Well, okay.
It better be. And it has to be.
I don't see how it isn't.
Correct at this point.
I just don't.
You just see where you are in the stand, everything. But anyways, you're right. You're 1,000,000% right. If that secondary and asset growing is more important than the playoffs, then Arvidsson's long gone and Peak is long gone. But this one's tough because again, you need to have a player coming in. Or you need to have a plan or a project, James Haggins, per se, where they're coming in to play on that line with Middlestat and Zaka. So really interesting. Now so the third part of this question though is, do you try and sign Victor Arvidsson? Do you want the Bruins to sign an extension for 2 years with Victor Arvidsson at $4 million a year?
Rhetorically stating, if that's going to, if you don't feel that you can get that second line guy for anything less than, let's say, Brock Besser type money, I'm using just him as an example. I'm not saying to go trade him, but $7 million, probably. I mean, that's a better alternative. But okay,
and has he shown, does he fit in? Can you envision Zaka, Middlestat, Arvidsson again next season for this team?
And yes, and he's what, 33, right? 32. Okay, so 2 years that would be the max that I would
correct.
go.
Yep.
The max.
Yep.
Rhetorically asking, or not. So, but do you end up winning with that regularly, or is this just, hey, he's getting a great opportunity right now?
Yep.
That type of player. But look, he's a 20-goal guy.
He is.
In his career, he has proven, 5 times, I think, in his career, maybe 6, that he's hit the minimum 20-goal standard. So it's a good problem to have. I just don't think you can come out of the trade deadline, which, by the way, is Friday. This coming Friday, a week from yesterday at 3 o'clock Eastern time is when it ends, meaning that's the last trade that has to be recorded by then, 3 o'clock.
This will be the 7th time he gets 20 goals, by the way, and 33
So
times.
It's a proven commodity, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, so and by the way, if you still add to your team another way, because you can, and if you do sign him, in theory, maybe this becomes their third line.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You add to your team, you elevate it some other way. You still have, whether it's an Andrew Peak. I'm looking at UFA guys. We know that Mason Lowry, who has 1 year left on his contract, was on the market before.
Uh-huh.
You know that you've got 4 first-round draft picks coming up right now in the next 2 years, assuming that Toronto doesn't get in the top 5, because you lose that pick, then it's protected. So you got a lot of assets.
Yeah.
So do you keep that? I don't think they can keep both, particularly Arvidsson and Peak. I know they're 2 different positions, but they're both UFAs. You got to get something back for one of them.
I agree, and right now, again, we're talking about making the playoffs. It's much easier to trade Peak than Arvidsson. Because again, we're talking about Arvidsson's really contributing in a way. Peak is very good. He's been very good, but they won last game without him in the lineup, is my point.
Well, the fear, though, is that you don't have enough D-men. That's always the fear. So you'd have to get
No, you're getting other D. You're bringing D in that are similar.
Okay, so there's been a lot of chatter, my friend, about that.
Yeah.
In no particular order. St. Louis, Calgary, okay? Mm-hmm. St. Louis has a bevy of players. Yeah. In theory, they're completely wide open for business. On the back, all over. There's been rumors about Robert Thomas. That would be a mega deal
to
pull off in season. But let's just talk about the D. There, they've got Justin Falk and Colton Parayko. They seem to be the two big right shot D that everybody's talking about. And everybody, look, it's silly season, right? So everybody gets linked all the time.
Yeah,
it's just
we're doing fantasy now, folks.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
I think I might lean towards Falk over Parayko, believe it or not. 1 year on a deal. Falk's got a different skill set. As much as Parayko, I know, is a Canadian Team Canada guy.
Yep.
He's big. He's strong. He's not physical. He's not. He's long, though, but he's got 4 more years on that contract. Falk's got 1 year left. I think he can add significantly, by the way, to your penalty, to your power play, second unit. Mm-hmm. I do.
Yep.
Shot first type mentality. He's good with the one-timer. That might intrigue me a little more, my friend, if you're looking at that team.
Yeah, and I can see him pairing up with the left side better than what Parayko would.
Yeah.
I think. So I agree. So I agree with you there. I think Falk's that secondary guy. Parayko is kind of he's a big dog.
He is a big dog.
I don't think you need another big dog on the back end. You need you need another
good depth guy. Yeah.
Game guy that knows how to play and gets it. So I Falk makes sense. The Uyghur one seems like a lot with how much term he has left as well. I like him as a player to a point, but he's never gone on a playoff run. He was in Florida, he was great, and then they trade him, part of Tkachuk deal, and then they win. Calgary, same thing. He's never really been in the playoffs. He's like a cool, fun defenseman.
I agree with you.
I'm not sold on him.
The guy I am sold on there is Zach Whitecloud.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's going to get traded. No.
It feels like they're building around him.
I have reached out to a few people,
and
they said the Calgary Flames are going to have to get blown away for that deal to happen. I'm also told, being a Manitoba kid, he likes it out there.
Yeah.
And not that he has no trade protection or even modified no trade protection. I'm told that he is happy in that area.
Not a city kid.
One of the best interviews I've ever done. I think I told you that.
You did tell me that. And I listened to a couple of them since. And
he's really good.
He's smart.
He is. But I don't see that. But that's the guy that would really get my antenna up.
Uh-huh.
There's others, too. I mean, we had Don Sweeney on Nesson the other night. It was great to have him on there for about 10 minutes. He talked about the Bruins being more conservative probably this year in their approach. I don't know. It's not that I don't believe Don. I don't think he's intentionally not telling the truth, but I think if there is an opportunity, I will tell you, to get a Robert Thomas, that's a big deal, though. We're not talking 1 first-round pick in your top prospect. You're talking more than that. A lot of pieces to be moved.
No,
but he will listen. He will.
Oh no, they've worked through. Listen, again, I've said this on this show. I've said it on Morning Brew. I've said it on all of our shows that they go through. The Don Sweeney does not leave a stone unturned, and that's why he's very good at this, and that's why he's done a great job at this time of year, because he doesn't miss anything. So they've gone through every scenario, and it does feel like, again, a Robert Thomas one just seems so far away and so far-fetched for what they're at and where they're at and what they can do midseason. Now, everybody's been surprised, but it's a big one.
I do think St. Louis Razor, though, is desperate to get better quickly. Now, you say, well, how are you going to get better quicker if you don't have Robert Thomas, who's their best player? And I am nowhere near interested in Kyrou.
Oh, no.
It's not my. It's not my.
He's not a Bruin.
Thank you. That's the way. That's a good way to say it. It's not my vibe.
Yeah.
For that.
Well, no, and again, the reason why these names are coming up, and St. Louis has to. St. Louis has not said these guys are off the table, which
they're
you
chumming
do
the
with
market.
all of their good players. They are looking to do something. Something's going to happen. There just seems like so much smoke. Now, of course, they're not doing it for free, so the deal might not happen because they don't get enough, but they really want to do something. Out there,
they want to change the narrative out there.
Yeah.
It's the type of team, Doug Armstrong's got, was it this year? And then Steen takes over.
Steener's coming in, so Steener wants to put his fingers on it. He's big time involved, and he probably has opinions about guys that Doug doesn't, and that's changing too.
This is probably an easier time for Alex Steen to say, hey, Army, if we're going to be bad, it's like I used to say, if you're going to be sick, be really sick. Don't have that cold that lingers for 5 days.
Right.
Just get sick for 1 day.
Well,
Get it out of your system. Be that kind of
and
thing.
again, to that, Doug Armstrong then does all the deals. It doesn't fall on Steen's plate, but Steen will take credit if it goes well. The whole thing, they can just set the organization up in a good place. And Doug doesn't care what his reputation's rock solid, whether he loses a trade right now or not.
All right, trade deadline again is next Friday. Nesson is going to have a show starting at 2 o'clock. We will have a trade deadline show. Razor and I will be on. All right, coming up after the break, a little bit more here on Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor here on EEI.
Saturday Morning Brew on WEEI is brought to you by Apex Entertainment in Marlboro with 100,000 square feet of pure fun. We continue with Saturday Morning Brew, hosted by Billy Jaffe and Andrew Razor Raycroft on WEEI.
All right, last segment here for Saturday Morning Brew. Jaffe and Razor. This will be out on podcast form and our YouTube channel soon. Also, speaking of on our YouTube and also on just audio podcasts, this past week, we ended up having both Tanner Jeannot and Morgan Geekie one-on-one interviews, sit down, coming off out of the break. Both awesome, fun guys. Live right near each other. Drive the rink, the practice and the game often together. Two Western Canadians.
Western leaguers.
Yes. So check those out. Great stuff from both Tanner and Morgan. We appreciate them taking the time to join us on Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Geeky with a goal the other night, a beautiful shot. A no-look pass from Pasternak, who in the rotation on the power play went to the top of the point. He went to the point position.
Quarterback defenseman.
He
back
did.
there now.
No-look pass over, the fake. Like he did load on his right leg like he's going to do the pass to kind of sling the puck towards the net looking for a rebound or a tip. But at the last second, he uses the big toe curve to slide it over to Morgan Geekie. Oftentimes on the one-timer, you really prefer it middle of the stance. It was more off the front foot. And Geekie still was able to contort is maybe not the right term, but move his body, open up the hips, and got a beautiful one-timer off that beat Merzlikins. I think Merzlikins thought that he was going to get there in time. And maybe if Merzlikins was a Bruins goalie, we would say he should have had that. You tell me.
Well, it's close. It's close. He should have had the Corrali one more so than that one.
Do not take away the half slapper from Corrali.
I knew. I said, here comes a slapper. As soon as he got it, I'm like, here comes a slapper. I was so excited for the slapper, but the slapper's always going high glove, Elvis. It's always going high glove, Elvis. You got to know that. But that play, so again, Geekie just beats guys again, right? Like, you just don't expect that to come off of the stick in that position. Like you said, not really in the wheelhouse with that much velocity, that much speed. And he said it afterwards down in the locker room. He tried to beat Merzlikins to the post, and he did so. And I just don't think Elvis thought he was going to get as much on it as he did.
So he blew it by him there.
Yep.
Jeannot with an assist in the game, too.
Yeah, they got the bump. The Morning Brew bump, they did.
Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
They also got some Morning Brew blend coffee, too. They were both very happy with that, especially Morgan, considering that his wife put him on decaf for about 8 months because she couldn't. They didn't have regular coffee in the house because she was pregnant.
Why can't you? Can't.
He was so happy to drink regular loaded caffeinated coffee. Quickly taking a look at the standings, Razor.
Yes.
Today, the Boston Bruins. Well, they're still the second wild card, where they've been now for the last couple of weeks. 71 points in 58 games played. Just in front of them is the Montreal Canadiens, who actually had the lead the other night against the Islanders, only to give it up, so they got 1 point. They're at 73 with the same amount of games played. 74 points is the Detroit Red Wings as we look at the Atlantic, and then the Buffalo Sabres also 74 points. Both those teams have played 59 games, also one more, though, than the Bruins. So they're right in the thick of it. The issue is, though, now, even though the big win over Columbus gives them a 6-point pad over them, all of a sudden the Washington Capitals have decided to show up and get into the party, the playoff party again. Sorry if I popped the peas there. They've won 3 in a row now. Pierre-Luc Dubois back, healthy. They seem to be playing good defense again. They're just 2 points behind the Bruins. Now, they've played 3 more games so far. The Bruins have them 2 more times, too.
Well, that and the whole Islanders-Pittsburgh division is like throwing a wrinkle into things, too, because the Islanders are at 71, Pittsburgh's at 72. So technically, if Washington wins and gets up to, if they had 72 points, they wouldn't necessarily beat the Bruins out. The Bruins would still be in the playoffs if Washington gets to 72 because they're ahead of the Islanders, the Bruins are. So it's going to be, and because it's Washington and Columbus, both Metro Division teams chasing, that adds a huge element to this and how the Bruins fall into wild card. They've got 4 teams, well, 2, 4, there's basically 7 teams that are all within 5 points of each other that are all fighting for different spots.
Do you feel like, though, after this Olympic break, do you really, really feel like you know what to expect from anybody now?
No,
to me,
no.
it feels like a completely new season.
No idea.
And what encourages me is that the Bruins are so healthy, and they were able to do all this good stuff when they had so many injuries. You can say similar things about other teams. But on the other hand, what concerns me is, like, is Tampa really going to be good now? Because I thought the Bruins at 5-on-5, we saw them in that. Now it's an outdoor game, so grain of salt time. But the Bruins were excellent at 5-on-5 against them. They were just awful on the PK, and that's where Tampa's great. But my point is, like, what are we going to get? Like, the East is so much deeper than the West. It's not even It's not even funny.
Yep.
So you could say it's a crapshoot, and it is. But I mean, part of me is like, this is awesome for the Bruins. Like, they can make a great run here. And then other times I look and I say, do I really believe that, given I don't know what the hell to expect out of, like you brought up, Pittsburgh. No Sidney Crosby, by the way, there for 3-4 weeks.
Well, I know. We're a long ways from like finding the run. I think right now I'm looking at it. Okay, get in, and I like the fact that I feel comfortable in the fact that they're 6 points up on Columbus now. Like that's a lot. If we were talking Columbus and they were 6 points behind, we'd be saying that's a lot to make up. Mm-hmm. We're getting to the point now where we're talking about. Florida Panthers have 5 regulation losses to give now. The Toronto Maple Leafs have 5 regulation losses to give at this point. Ottawa's probably have 7 regulation losses to give. So I start looking at the math and the magic numbers of things, and that's where the Bruins keep. You bank a few more wins here before this trade deadline. Now all of a sudden, the Boston Bruins go 500, folks. They have 95 points. Right. Who had them at 95 points this year? And that's just them going 500. So if you can find a way to go 14, 14-8-1 or 14-9-1, that's a 100-point season.
Right.
At the pace they're at.
Did not see that come. I think we both said we thought the best they would do would be 8th spot in the East.
I thought they would be 8th spot in the East with 88 points. Like I thought the East was going to be a little down. They're going to beat each other up, and the West was good. And it hasn't turned that way. It's the other way. But
oh my God,
the Bruins can easily. You can easily find a path for them to get 100 points.
Every team in the East, basically the top 10 teams, have been hot as heck. I mean, everybody. The weakest one, and I'll use that in terms, is the Islanders at 6-4-0 in their last 10. Everybody else
they've won 3 in a row.
Right, and they've just won 3 in a row. But everybody else is 8-2-0, 7-2-1, 8-0-2, 6-2-2, 6-1-3. Meanwhile, you go out west, Colorado, they're 4-5-1 in their last 10. The only teams, Minnesota and Dallas, have continued to do pretty well. And Anaheim, all of a sudden, they were in the tank for a while. Yeah. Now they've jumped. But the depth of the East, much better than the depth of the West. The West, though, you could argue, has maybe the top 3 teams, but it's hard to say that now, given that Colorado's been meh lately. Well, but I still think that they're very good.
They have to play each other in the first 2 rounds. Like two of those 3 teams are out after round 2.
All right, so the Bruins, we got 1 minute here. They're in Philly today. Again, the game is it ABC today? It's ABC, right?
Yes,
okay.
ABC.
3:30, whenever it starts. You never know with them. We have back on Nesson Tuesday night. The Bruins host the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, the Crosby-less Penguins. The one caveat, folks, don't think it's going to be easy. First of all, Dan Muse, head coach of Pittsburgh, got him playing really well structured this year. Secondly, Malkin has had a career when Crosby's out of the lineup. Careers type numbers. Unbelievable stuff. But let's focus on today. At Philly, a game the Bruins have got to win. They got to win this one. Pasta loves playing in Philly, where he was drafted. We'll see who starts in net. We'll see who's on the blue line. A lot of question marks. And then Razor and I, we will do a morning brew with Jaffe and Razor after Tuesday's game against Pittsburgh. So a lot of content. Don't forget to check out our interviews with Geeky and Janot on our YouTube channel, and also wherever you get your podcast. David Razor, thanks, buddy. Great stuff here. This has been Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor on EEI.